Hey, what's up folks? This is Keith and you're watching Barbour's Auto Help. Thank you so much for watching. In today's video, I'm going to give you my take on the Lisle 34550 Handy Packer Bearing Packer. This particular tool has been around as long as I can remember, or some kind of variation of it's been around as long as I can remember. Very handy tool to have. I've been working on cars for over 20 years. This is actually the first time I've owned one of these. I finally broke down and bought one. Up until this point, I've been borrowing this from other technicians that work with me. So I finally have one after making the last video I did on packing wheel bearings without a packer. And I got so much flack about it that I figured I'd go ahead and buy the tool for myself. That way I have one. And I can share with you guys my take on this particular tool. Well, to start out with, it's pretty simple in its design. It has a lid. Of course, that keeps all contaminants out and keeps all the ooky grease on the inside there. You have this mechanism right here, this push handle. It screws on and off. Once you get it out of the way there, you can then place your wheel bearings down in the concaved area there and then put your pusher back on and push into the cup there, and it will cause the grease to come up through those little ports on the inside there from the bottom and go up in through your bearings, and you'll end up with a result kind of like this right here. You can see that in between all them bearings that grease has seeped through, and that was because I had it in there and pushed it on down. And it does a pretty handy job of packing the bearing, and it's really quick. It's a lot quicker than packing bearings with your hands, which I've made a video on that. I'll put a link down in the description of this video to that video. If you don't have a special tool or you don't want to buy a special tool, you can still pack your wheel bearings, but this really is a time saver, and it's very handy and it does a very good job. Now there's a couple ways you can fill this tool here. You can see I got grease in the bottom. You're probably wondering, how in the world did you get grease down there? Well, you can actually pull this cup out, and it's kind of hard to do. Typically, it's a little easier to do once the piston is all the way down at the bottom, and you've exhausted your grease that's down in the tub here. There's a spring that helps to push it back and to release a little bit of that vacuum there. But sometimes it can be a little bit of a deal getting this piston out here. But you could pull this piston out, and then that allows you to either fill this by hand with grease, or if you don't want to fill it by hand with grease, you don't even have to take this piston out. You put the piston back in there. When you unscrew this, you'll see that there is a Zerk fitting right there. You can use a grease gun and actually attach it to that and just pump it full of grease without even having to deal with that piston. So that's pretty handy there. But I do like how they have this handle so you can screw it on. That way it actually attaches it to the piston there, and you can pull it out if you actually need to. So really guys, there's not a whole lot to this thing. It's very simple. You fill it with grease, put your bearings in there, you push down on the pusher, and it packs your bearings. It's pretty cut and dry. But I will say that the build on this is pretty durable. I've seen bearing packers, I've actually seen these Lisle bearing packers last years and years and years, and maybe even over a decade, probably better. I've never seen one break before, so I think the build on these is pretty good, and really I don't think you can go wrong purchasing this particular item here, because the price point, pretty good. Now another cool thing about this is you can leave the mess on the inside there, and if you got extra grease on the top of that piston, that's okay. You can just leave it in there. Just put your cap on and set that to the side. It's nice and clean, and unless you got the outside dirty, and it'll be ready for the next use. So folks, that's my take on this particular tool here. I do like it. I am a huge fan of Lisle tools. They are not a sponsor of this video. They did not provide me with this particular tool here. I purchased it with my own money. I'm just a fan, and I wanted to share this with my viewers because I do think that this could improve the quality of your life if you work on automobiles. So I highly recommend. You guys, thank you so much for watching. I certainly do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please comment down below. Also, if you're interested in buying this particular tool here, I will provide a link down in the description to this tool. Other than that, check out the other links to videos and other resources down in the description there. And please read the disclaimer at the very end of the description as well. Thank you again for watching, guys. Please like and subscribe. Have a good day.